Hello children, welcome to our numerals lesson today. This lesson was produced by Rwanda Education Board with support from UNICEF. I am still John, your teacher. This lesson is for primary 5 pupils, though it is more of revision preparing you for the next lessons in our Unit 3. It is also suitable for primary 4 pupils. Dear adults, we encourage you to continue supporting the children during this radio learning program. In this lesson, friends, you will still need a notebook and a pen. Friends, let us review what we learned in the previous lesson. Dear children, what did we learn in the previous lesson? Very good. In the previous lesson, we learned about finding the greatest common factor. We learned that to find the greatest common factor of 2 or more numbers, we do the following. We learned that we start by dividing with the smallest prime factor that can divide all the numbers. We called these ones the common divisors. We said that we continue dividing until there is no any other prime factor that can divide all the numbers. We saw that the GCF is then the product of all the prime factors that were able to divide all the numbers. The GCF is the product of all the common divisors. Dear friends, in today's lesson, we will learn a new topic in numeracy called fractions. But first, let us have a short break. We will be back.
Come along and play with us.
Welcome back, dear children. Today I'm going to introduce to you another type of numbers called fractions. Dear children, have you ever had one biscuit, one bread, or one something nice that you wanted to share with a friend? How do you go about it? In other words, how can you divide one biscuit or one thing between you and your friend? Great! Some of you would break it into other small pieces. Others would break it into a half, and others would break it into a quarter. Friends, those are what we call fractions. But before we go further, may you stand up and we have a warm-up. You can sing or chant along with me, or just clap your hands, stomp your feet, or make any other movement you would like while we chant. Are you ready, children? Very good. I will go first, and then after, we will do it together as you dance in any way you feel like. Let me sing it first as you listen, and then we will sing it together. Fractions, fractions, parts of a whole. Fractions, fractions, parts of a whole. They are equal pieces like parts of a bread. Half a bread, half a biscuit. A half is a half, big or small. It takes 2 halves to make one whole. Fractions, fractions, parts of a whole. I love it. Do you? Can we do it together now? Are you ready? You can nod your head, you can shake your body, you can clap, you can stomp your feet. Are you ready, children? All right, let's go. Fractions, fractions, parts of a whole. They are equal pieces like parts of a bread. Half a bread, half a biscuit. A half is a half, big or small. It takes 2 halves to make one whole. Fractions, fractions, parts of a whole. Well done, friends. Did you enjoy? Very good. You can now take your seats. I hope you're ready to learn. Now, children, what is a fraction? Very good. A fraction is any number formed by splitting a whole number or a thing into a number of equally sized pieces. I said that a fraction is any number formed by splitting a whole number or a thing into any number of equal sized pieces. A fraction is a part of a whole. Fractions are how we express parts of whole numbers. Friends, shall we practice making some fractions now? Great! Let's make some fractions using a piece of paper. Please, can you please take out a piece of paper or anything flat that you can fold evenly? Friends, can you take out a piece of paper or anything flat that you can fold evenly? Very good. I know you have a piece of paper with you. Fold your piece of paper into two equal parts. Fold your piece of paper into two equal parts. If you have a pen or a pencil with you, shade one part of the folded paper. If you have a pen or a pencil with you, shade one part of the folded paper. Very good. You just folded a piece of paper into two equal parts. Those two parts are fractions. That means they are part of a whole number. I repeat, those two parts are fractions. That means they are part of a whole number. Every fraction has two parts, the numerator and the denominator. Children, what is a numerator? Children, what is a numerator? N-U-M-E-R-A-T-O-R. Numerator. Great. The numerator is the top part of the fraction. It shows how many parts of the whole we have. And the denominator is the bottom part of the fraction. It shows the total number of parts the whole is split into. It shows the total number of parts we have splitted our whole thing. Denominator is spelled as D-E-N-O-M-I-N-A-T-O-R. Denominator. Friends, using our example of a piece of paper with one part shaded in, the shaded part represents 1/2 of the whole paper. We write that as 1/2. Friends, do you know a slash? It's a slanted line. Therefore, we write 1/2. Or we can write it as 1 sitting over a 2 with a short line between them. The 1 is the numerator, which represents the number of shaded in parts, and 2 is the denominator, the total number of parts the whole piece of paper has been split into. Friends, we will now have some examples after this short break.
Come along and play with us.
Welcome back, children. Shall we now try some math problems using fractions? Great. Let us have our first example. Listen to it attentively. Teta went to the school library one morning. she planned to borrow books to take home. The library had 10 books about animals. Of the 10 books on animals, Teta borrowed 5. What fraction of the books about animals did she borrow? Friends, I repeat one more time. Teta went to the school library one morning. She planned to borrow books to take home. The library had 10 books about animals. Of the 10 books on animals, Teta borrowed 5. What fraction of the books about animals did she borrow? Very good. First, let us restate the problem. There were 10 books about animals. She borrowed 5 of those books. And we need to find the fraction of books she borrowed. That's great. Friends, she borrowed 5 out of 10 books. Isn't that right? Yes. To write the fraction 5 out of 10, you write 5, put a small line under it, then write 10 below the line. To write the fraction 5 out of 10, you write 5, put a small line under it, then write a 10 below the line. Finished? Very good. Well done, friends. Let us try another problem. Listen attentively. You have one cake. Do you love cakes, children? Very good. Now, our problem is about cakes. You have one cake. Your mother cut it into 3 slices. You have one cake. Your mother cut it into 3 slices. Your friend asks you for a slice. What fraction of the cake will your friend eat if you give her 1 slice? What fraction of the cake will your friend eat if you give her 1 slice? Very good, friends. The first thing to do to solve this problem is to draw a model that represents the problem. Now, friends, can you draw a circle for this model? You divide the circle into 3 parts because the cake was cut into 3 slices. Now shade with a pen or a pencil the fraction of the cake that you will give to your friend. Very good. I hope you shaded only one part of the 3 parts of your circle. Now, friends, which fraction is that? The fraction you shaded is 1/3 of the whole cake. How do we write that, friends? Perfect. We write a 1, then a little line under it, and then a 3 under the line. I repeat, we write a 1, a small line under it, and then we write a 3 under the line. And we read that fraction as 1/3 or 1/3. We read it as 1/3. Repeat after me. 1/3. 1/3. Or 1/3. You say 1/3. 1/3. Very good. Now, friends, let us have a break. We will be back shortly.
Come along and play with us.
Welcome back, friends. Let us try out more problems using fractions. Dear children, try this problem out on your own. Listen attentively. David bought 6 exercise books. He gave 3 books to his sister Keza. What fraction of books did he give away? You have few seconds to do this. Dear parents, help me to see whether my friends are doing the right thing. Dear friends, I hope you have finished. Let us check our answers. He gave away 3 out of 6. To write the fraction 3 out of 6, you write a 3, put a small line under it, then write a 6 below the line. Well done, friends. Thank you for trying out. Let us have another example. Your mother has baked a cake and cut it into 5 slices. Your friend asks you for a slice, and you want a slice for yourself also. What fraction of a whole cake will you and your friend eat? First, I want you to draw a model that represents the problem and use that model to explain the fraction of the cake you and your friend will eat out of the whole cake. You have few seconds to try this out. Dear friends, I know you drew the circle to represent the one whole cake. You divided the circle into 5 equal parts, right? Very good. You shaded the part that represents the cake you and your friend will eat. How did you shade it, friends? Remember, you will eat 2 parts. Therefore, you shaded 2 out of the 5 parts of the circle. So the fraction of the cake that you will eat is 2 over 5 of the cake. You write that as 2 over 5 with a line between 2, then a line under 2, and a 5 below the line. Well done, friends. Before we end our lesson, let us review what we have learned today. What have you learned today, dear children? Perfect. We have learned about fractions. We have learned that they are parts of a whole. We also learned that every fraction has 2 parts. The numerator is the top part of the fraction. It shows how many parts of the whole we have. And the denominator is the bottom part of the fraction. It shows the total number of parts the whole is split into. For your homework, practice making more fraction models by folding into equal parts and shading those parts. Then write the resulting fractions. Show them to your parents or guardians or your elder brothers and sisters. That is it for today. Thank you for participating. Remember to join us for our next numeracy lesson. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, 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 teacher. Goodbye, children. See you next time. Goodbye, 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 teacher.